Howdy folks, and we're back. I'm Rob and Bob, as you know us. We're here to talk about a more technical part of your reface and your measuring. It's replacing your drawer boxes. Our dovetail, undermount, soft close drawer boxes are a very good option to go with your reface. So we'll go through that and each and every measurement on how to do that. Again, we'll start at our usual cabinet. We have our original drawing for reference and for jotting down notes, and we're gonna start left to right. So each individual box, you're gonna wanna pull these out. You don't know what's behind them, you don't know what kind of connections you have, so you're gonna wanna get them out of the way so that you can make the most accurate measurement possible. In this section and these measurements, they need to be accurate down to the 16th.
Now right now we're counting for any plumbing that may be behind drawer boxes, any wires, electrical outlets that could come in the way of your drawer box.
Each drawer box comes in a 3-inch measurement increment.
For the depth.
Most base cabinets are 24 inches deep. This one over here is 25 inches. So for your 24-inch depth cabinet, you're most likely going to have 21-inch boxes.
The reason being a 24-inch or a 21-inch deep box needs to have cabinet space of 22 inches. Again, boxes come in 3-inch increments for the depth. So an 18-inch deep box, we need to have a 21-inch or a 19-inch deep cabinet. As a 15-inch box would need a 16-inch deep cabinet.
This cabinet right here doesn't have any obstructions in the back. From the back to the face, it measures 25.5. So we can actually, to take advantage of as much of the space as we want, we can actually put a 24-inch box in there. This isn't as common, but that's why it helps to take out your drawer box and actually look at what your available sizes are. This one is 25 by 12.25, as we know from our original measurements. Now to calculate the drawer size on that, your drawer box width is going to be 3/8 less than the width of your cabinet every time. 3/8 of an inch. Even if you're measuring at 25 1/16, you want to make sure to accurately subtract that 3/8 from that 25 1/16 because it actually matters with these glides. Now for the height of the boxes come in 1-inch increments. This height is 12.25, so you're going to want to get an 11-inch tall box. Now, the height, the rails actually add about 5/8 on there. So if you're within that 5/8, you're going to want to drop another inch. If you have an opening that measures at a 3/4, 5 3/4, 6 3/4, you can get away with getting a 5-inch box in a 5 3/4 inch opening. It's going to be a squeeze, probably about 1/8 of leeway, but you're going to be able to get away with that. Next, we'll go to these drawers. I can easily open the doors underneath of them and look underneath for any obstructions. I don't have any, so I can go ahead and leave those drawers in there and measure from the back of the cabinet to the face, which is 24 inches. 24-inch deep cabinet, you're going to want 21-inch deep rail.
So as I'm being told the depth of the box we're going to be using, I will write down on my drawing that I can go back and reference which depth for which doors or which drawer openings.
All right, these are 18-inch openings. We already knew that from our paperwork. We're going to end up subtracting 3/8 to get the width of our box. Now here we have our openings are 4.25 inch tall, so we're going to have to drop all the way down to a 3-inch drawer box. Now for the bank, you're basically going to want to do the same thing as we did for under the oven. You don't have to remove all the drawers, but it's good to remove one and then pull some of the other drawers out a little bit so that you can look completely in the back of the cabinet and make sure there are no obstructions in there. Everything's good over there, so I'll go ahead and measure the depth first, which measures at 24 inches. Again, we'll need a 21-inch deep box for that. Now down to the 16th, we have 24-inch wide. And we have a 5 5/8 inch opening. If you were watching an earlier video, I went ahead and measured that at 5 3/4 for the faces. Now we're gonna wanna be more accurate for the drawer boxes. That 5 5/8 inch opening means that we're gonna want a 4-inch box in there. So each one of these lower ones is 5 5/8. And that one's 5 3/4. Just to make sure on this, since my face frame is sitting back, I want to pull this drawer out and make sure that I have that full 5 3/4. That I do, so we'll be able to go ahead and order a 5-inch tall box for that bottom one there, just to take advantage of as much of the space as possible. Go ahead and put that back in there. And not too difficult. You don't really have to empty out any of your drawers. Pretty simple. We need to make sure that we take each measurement as accurately as possible within the 16th to make sure that our drawer boxes are going to work. Now that we have that done and we have our depths written in there and we know by our drawing the heights of the openings, we can go ahead and calculate and order our drawer boxes from there. Come back here, and since we've made it through this paperwork quite a few times, we know that these measurements are absolutely correct. 25 by 12 1/4, and we've already written our 24-inch depth. We know our depth. We want a drawer box here that's 25 minus 3/8, which is 24 5/8 by 12 1/4 down to the nearest inch that is greater than 3/4. That might have sounded a little confusing. What I meant by that was that if you have something that's 5 3/4 or something bigger than that 3/4 of an inch, then you can keep it within that 1-inch range. If you have something that's less than 3/4, then you're going to want to drop an entire inch down. So a 12 1/4 opening, you're going to need an 11-inch box. For a 5 3/4 opening, you can do a 5-inch box. If it's 5 5/8 inch opening, you're going to want to drop down to a 4-inch box. So all these boxes right here, 24 inches, are going to be 23 5/8. And then I had one at 5 3/4, so I know that that one can be 5. Then I have two at 5 5/8. So 23 5/8 by 4. And I have one at 4 1/4, so 23 5/8 by 3. I have both of these at 18, the openings are 18 by 4 1/4. So that's gonna be, those boxes are gonna be 17 5/8 by 3. Again, I know it's very technical. As long as you continue to recheck your measurements and be as accurately as possible on this, down to the 16th of an inch, you're gonna come in with drawer boxes that not only come in the right side, but glide as smoothly as you've ever felt a drawer box go. All right, so that is it for our introduction on how to measure for your drawer boxes. I'd like to thank you again for watching and continue for more fun.